I'm feeling good.
I just saw that video of that lady being carried out, pulled, assaulted in that town hall meeting, being dragged out of there. Y'all don't help each other. Y'all have no sense of community. Y'all have no sense of community, because I can tell you the only way that would have happened to one of my homegirls is if hell was freezing over. I don't care if we don't agree. I don't care. The fact that y'all sat there and let those men assault that woman, and not only that, baby, it was some women standing up clapping. What in the hell is going on? What is going on, y'all?
Put Idaho Town Hall in your search bar and watch those men who were not police officers drag that white woman out of her seat onto the ground and out of the town hall to God knows where to do God knows what, because they didn't like what she had to say. And watch the white women around her who sat on their ass and did nothing. There was some grumbling, but not a single one of them took any action to protect that woman. And that's why y'all keep calling black women. That's why y'all keep saying where they at, where we at. Because you want us on the front line. You want us to be dragged off by strange men, to have God knows what happens to us when we get taken to God knows where, because you're not about the revolution. No matter how much you talk about it, no matter how much Macklemore you play, no matter how many Handmaid's Tale episodes you watch, I don't know what angry white women look like.
At one point, they had her shirt almost entirely off. Her undergarments were exposed. It was a terrifying situation that I never thought that I would witness at a public political event, a town hall.
Get up or be arrested.
Sheriff Bob Norris trying to lift 𝒲𝒶𝓎-𝒯ℛ𝒰 out of the chair after she refused. You see Sheriff Norris talk to the security guards.
Is he a deputy? He's our deputy.
That's when 𝒲𝒶𝓎 fought being removed. Security guards eventually get her to the ground.
Who are you?
She was then dragged out of the auditorium.
She had to wait hours in the emergency room. She still is sore and has, scratches and bruises and everything that you would expect from what she went through.
But how did we get to this point?
There were several people that were interrupting, but Ms. 𝒲𝒶𝓎 was the most vocal of them. We've got her on video no fewer than 7 times shouting out, interrupting, catcalling.
I asked Tennyson, who is sitting next to 𝒲𝒶𝓎, if that is true.
We chose to heckle instead and to shout out things that were true about what the legislators were telling us. We were told a couple times to stop. We did not stop because we wanted our voices to be heard. We weren't completely disrupting to the point where they couldn't speak.
Tennyson says they wanted their voices heard because she says the KCRCC picks and chooses the questions for the legislators. Regan says otherwise.
We go to audience questions, which are written out on 3x5 cards and then selected randomly and given to the master of ceremonies.
Police say 𝒲𝒶𝓎 bit one of the security guards as they were trying to remove her. She was cited for battery, but that charge was rescinded after the prosecutor obtained more evidence. In the video, you can hear 𝒲𝒶𝓎 ask the security guards who they are.
Who the are these men?
They had no marks on them showing that they were security.
Which, according to City Code 532, they must. In fact, police say the security company Lear Asset Management's business license was revoked because of it.
Were the security guards hired by the KCRCC or the high school?
They were volunteers.
They volunteered for you guys?
Yeah, they volunteered. They're known in the community, and they said, we need some security. Oh, we'll help out.
I asked Tennyson what her message is to people who say they prompted this.
Yes, we were disruptive. Yes, we refused to leave when they asked us to. That is not justification for physical assault on a human being. absolutely uncalled for, absolutely inappropriate the way they treated her.
You know, this is hitting national news now. It's all over social media. Looking at all the videos and stuff, do you think this should have been handled differently?
At the time, was there things that could have been done differently? Probably. But, this isn't something that we've got a lot of experience in. We've done dozens of these town halls. We've never had an incident like this.
Remember when June from The Handmaid's Tale said, we didn't listen when they started taking away our rights? We didn't listen when they got rid of the Constitution. We didn't listen when they started unaliving politicians. She wasn't talking to the general public. She was talking to palm-colored women. Because what we saw at the town hall in Idaho is what June was talking about. That is now going to be the norm. When you from either side of the aisle, because remember, 𝒲𝒏𝓎 wrote the same laws that ended up getting her finger chopped off when she said, no, I need more rights. I'm one of the good ones. Fred reminded her, you're just a woman. We're starting to see the starting of handmaids, because the amount of people who were like, oh, well, she's a Democrat. 𝒲𝒏𝓎 was a Republican too. And now 𝒲𝒏𝓎 has 9 fingers.
Civil disobedience is not a game. It's not a joke, and you should take it very seriously, because the consequences of civil disobedience is not a game, not a joke, and are very serious, long-lasting, and serious. And anyone that participates in civil disobedience has the right to make the choice. So while everyone is side-eyeing the people that sat around that Idaho town hall meeting and watched that woman get dragged out, you should side-eye them. I fucking side-eye them. You should also be side-eyeing the woman that got dragged out. Now here's the lesson. Civil disobedience is planned. It's organized. There's strategy behind it. You choose the right target, the right time, and the right environment to maximize the impact of your civil disobedience. If you are going to risk a loss of freedom to send a message, send it at the right time. And quite honestly, if that woman had planned that shit right, with community, they could have taken over. Because people are that upset. The only time civil disobedience is not planned out is when the people are on one accord. And you don't see that with those people ever. So she damn well should have planned it. That woman walked in there on white privilege and got dragged out on white male patriarchy. And everyone in there knew the risk of getting involved. That's why you need to be talking about the risk of getting involved beforehand and go there with people who have been given the opportunity to make a choice. Am I going to go home? They know their outcome, and they're going anyway. That's how shit gets done. What she did, everything she said was on. If she had planned it, organized it, she would have been able to say everything she needed to say and never got touched, because somebody would have made the choice to block for her. I have been the mouthpiece in civil disobedience, and when I moved, the people that chose to block for me moved with me. We planned it. I've also been taken to jail for civil disobedience, and you know what? I knew it. I knew I was going to go to jail that day. I fucking knew it, because the message was far more important than my loss of freedom. And I made that choice. If you plan it, you organize it, and you put some strategy into it, your civil disobedience will not fail. She did all of the don'ts, and you saw the consequences. My people, don't go out here with them acting a goddamn fool, because it would be foolish of you to go out there with them with no money, because the blacker the skin, the more likely you going in. Okay, that right there. We come from the race of people that have mastered civil disobedience. And that was not it. She put everyone in danger. And there was no win in it for her at all. Work smart. Don't work hard.
I'm still minding my black ass business, but 𝒯ℋ-𝒰𝒋, where's y'all fight? Where's y'all sisterhood? Where is y'all solidarity with one another? Y'all don't, oh Lord. I just watched that video about a woman who was yanked up out her seat at the town hall meeting like a pit bull. Damn thing. Y'all let two white men who are not law enforcement yank that woman out, who was speaking up about abortion and said women are dying. And y'all let two white men. And then she was sitting up there talking about, I will call the police, I will call the police, I will call the sheriff. Baby, the sheriff wanted you out of there too. The same men you call it upon is the same men that's yanking your ass up out that seat. And y'all did absolutely nothing. Nothing, not a damn thing. You could have threw a crochet needle at him. I don't know, hit him with an Etsy barcode, something. He yanked the sour cream out the dairy aisle. Nothing. And see, this is why so-called black women say, why would I get in the field with you? Because that would have never flew on Black Women Airlines. The plane would have never departed. There would have never been a route. The plane would have always been on the landing strip because it would have never flew. Not with black women. Black women would have stood on something. Another franchise was being created. And y'all have not learned. Y'all should have learned when that group chat came out with 70,000 white men was talking about harming women and children, their own kids, their own wives, their own mothers, their own sisters. White men are loyal to themselves. And y'all keep having their babies, keep raising these monsters. Yeah. I just want to know when y'all gonna get in the field and break generational curses. But until, I'm just still gonna mind my black ass business. Anyway, black women, what y'all eat today?
The way they just sat there and watched them drag that woman up out of that town hall meeting showed us exactly what we needed to see. We already knew, but it showed us exactly what we needed to see. Nobody could get up and just help her get out. Like, if they didn't want her there, y'all could have got up and helped her out. Y'all all just sitting there looking. That's why they not listening to y'all. They don't care about what y'all got to say. Y'all don't have no rights, right? Y'all don't have no rights. Y'all vote don't count. Y'all husband vote count. They don't care what y'all got to say, because look at you. You can't even support each other. Y'all see that woman getting hog-tied. For what? Because she talking? Freedom of speech? Trash. Y'all ought to be ashamed of yourself. Just sit there and let that woman. Men too. Y'all weak as hell. How you gonna sit in a town hall meeting calling him weak, and you said you right here watching the lady getting hogtied? All the men they needed the hogtie? Trash. Trash, I tell you.
Now, far be it for me to be in anybody's business, because I hate when people are in my business. But to the ladies that sat by and stood by and watched as that lady was carried out of that town hall in Idaho, I got all the smoke for you. Because see, you're the problem. You all got all the mouth for customer service workers, waitresses, flight attendants. But when it comes down to it, you're scary. And that's the problem. No sisterhood, no community. There's no way in the world that men would have carried a sister out of there, not law enforcement, without it being a thing. We would have put that whole thing up in smoke. Do you hear me? We would have left there with your granddaddy's eye, your grandmama's wig. Do you hear me? We are setting everything ablaze because there's no reason for it. And the lady was a doctor simply saying that women are dying. You all can't even stand up for your own people. What is the problem? What is the problem? Do you hate yourself and everybody outside of that? This is not a political party situation. This is about silencing people at a town hall. They had no right to do that. And the next time I see one of you all out, if I even get an inkling in my spirit that you're just like the women that sat and clapped and laughed and giggled and point, I'm gonna go ahead and push you down. I'm gonna hit them with the Heisman, stiff arm you. Because what you gonna do about it? Nothing. All right, now back to my business.
𝒲𝒶𝓎-𝒯ℛ𝒰 was attending a Kootenai County Republican Central Committee Legislative Town Hall Saturday, discussing topics like Medicaid and school vouchers, when she was forcibly removed from the meeting.
All of our elected officials in Kootenai County and surrounding areas are all Republican, and so that is why the Republican Party did the town hall. The auditorium was full.
𝒯ℯ, who has previously run for a seat in the Idaho House as a Democrat, tried to ask a question during a discussion about reproductive rights. Her friends, Megan Kuntz and 𝒲𝒶𝓎-𝒯ℋ tell KTVB legislators would not take the question.
They even used the words "shut up" at one point. And so, yes, she said, "Is this a lecture or a town hall?"
There's an opportunity for you to stand up.
𝒯ℯ was first approached by Sheriff Bob Norris.
So, the thing is,
my name is Robert Norris. I'm the Sheriff of this county. We're asking you to leave on video. Please get up or be escorted out.
Sheriff Norris asked her to leave, then grabbed her.
Please don't touch me. Please don't touch me. Please don't touch me.
Let's go. You're going to be escorted out.
I just happen to have a nice offer on.
Okay, I'm asking you to go. You want pepper spray?
Then Norris called in 3 unmarked security officers.
Nobody knew who these people were that were assaulting her and pulling her away.
Who are these guys? Who are these guys? Show your badge! Who are you? Don't touch her.
They pulled her out of her seat.
And she wasn't doing anything threatening. She was sitting in her seat, not doing anything threatening.
And into the hallway while Sheriff Norris filmed. Kuntz and 𝒲𝒶𝓎 say the MC of the event spurred it on.
He called her a little girl multiple times. Also said, your voice is useless or doesn't want to be heard here.
Look at this. This little girl is afraid to leave. She spoke up.
Kuntz and �𝒶𝓎, as well as Coeur d'Alene police, say �ℯ was cited. The battery charge stems from allegations that she bit one of the security officers.
In my opinion, that sounds like self-defense.
Kootenai County Republican Central Committee posted on Facebook saying �ℯ was arrested and that she disrupted the town hall and vocally cheered for any DEI initiatives.
It was evident that dissent was not being...
Stay your hair by a group of at least 4 burly white men wearing black jackets and dark blue jeans. They were the militia. This happened at a Republican town hall. When we think about when this thing really popped off, like 20 years from now, when we start talking about when this thing popped off, I can almost guarantee you historians are going to refer to that moment. Historians are going to refer to the moment when a group of white men from the militia, the white militia in Idaho, they call them hired security. But we know, wink, wink, it's the militia in Idaho. They dragged her out because she refused to be silent. And not a single one of her neighbors in attendance came to her rescue. Not a single man and not a single woman stood up and said, no, you can't do this. We are citizens. We still have freedom of speech in this country. Nope. They didn't do that. They let a group of white men, the militia, drag her out. They recorded it. They took video, right? Because everybody likes to video, people being assaulted in this country, especially women. Y'all really love, making videos of women being assaulted and black people being assaulted. Y'all really love that. No one came to her rescue. No one intervened. Forget about political party. It was just wrong. At one point, you can hear one of the men assaulting her say, if you just relax and calm down, this would be a lot easier on you. And she responded with, and accurately so, that's what rapists say. Which I thought was Queen Chef's kiss. But when we return to this moment from the future and we talk about when did it pop off? At what moment did it pop off? This is going to be in the top 3. This moment is going to be in the top 3. I knew that the moment that they started to have these town halls, that it was going to get ugly. I knew it was going to get ugly. Because you see, white people who voted for this administration, they did not anticipate white violence because they've never had to be on the receiving end of it. They've never truly been on the receiving end of it. How I know? The way that you all are responding to how you're being treated at these town hall meetings, which, pound for pound, is pretty damn mild in comparison to how black folks are treated. When we say, enough, stop, leave us alone. I just saw a video of a white guy saying, oh my God, what is going on? Is this still America? I want you to look up Move in 1978 and Move in 1985. The Move movement in West Philadelphia. In 1978, now to start with, let me just give you a little bit of a history. Move was a group of black radicals who lived in West Philadelphia. They considered themselves black radicals and environmentalists, right? They believed in, living off the land, and people thought that they were weird and crunchy, and, folks were like, these groups, they're freaking weirdos. Fine, you can believe that they're weirdos, but they're still human beings. They have a right to live, right? So there was a confrontation between members of the movement and the police in Philadelphia, in West Philadelphia, and people were unalived. Several Move members were unalived. Fast forward to 1985, there was another confrontation between Move, the police, and now the FBI. They wanted them out by any means necessary. So what did the city of Philadelphia do? They dropped the bomb on the MOVE headquarters, which was a group of row houses in Philadelphia. They dropped the bomb. They killed 11 people, including 5 children, all of them black, all of them members of the MOVE movement. Destroyed something like 60 homes. One survivor, Ramona Africa, she ultimately went to prison for a long time. They're still finding remnants from that bomb, body parts, meaning bones, bone fragments from the bombing of babies. So when you white people get on this app and say things like, oh my God, is this still America? Honey, it's always been America. You've just not been on the receiving end of white violence. White state violence. The ways in which black people have. That's why you're freaking out. And you should, because it is no joke. Now we have the border czar threatening to bring hell to Boston. And we all know what that means. He's threatening to bring the military to an American city because it is a blue city led by people of color and women. And they don't like that. They think that's DEI. They don't like that. So he's threatening to bring the military to an American city. And if you think it is above this country to do the worst of the worst to us, you don't know history, baby. You don't know history. If you think for 1 second they would not start dropping again in some of these blue cities, you don't know your country. The Republican Party just confirmed a gaggle of insurrectionists to lead law enforcement and the military in this country. And you're asking questions about, is this still America? This was always America. This has always been America, baby. Always. But you just don't know this side of America because you've not been on the receiving end of state white violence. But you're about to find out. You're about to find out. Black women in particular try to warn you and tell you, especially with white women, because I can't, 70% of white men who voted for this. So you are in danger, girl. White women, you are in danger. Your men, the men you sleep next to at night, the men that you give babies to, the men that you raise, the men that you love on and nurture, they voted for this to happen to you. What happened to that woman in Idaho? They voted for it. This is on you. You raised this. You nurtured this. You voted for this. Over 50% of you voted for this. You in danger, girl. That's why they didn't come to her rescue, because they voted for this. And this is going to happen a lot more frequently now. So to black women, stay your ass at home. Bloodshed is coming, but it will come a lot faster if we're out there. Stay your ass at home.
Do y'all notice how all of the black women and men are talking about that woman in Idaho getting dragged? But I haven't seen not one video of white women up in an uproar saying anything. You know why? Because they're used to that. That is normal in their culture and in their relationships and behind closed doors. Even to go as far as that white woman sitting down saying, and laughing and clapping and saying, oh, she's probably a Democrat. They view white women that have any type of pushback, opinion, or anything as a threat to their whiteness and their way of thinking, because their way of thinking is the Southern way of thinking, which is the Confederate way of thinking. And so all of the progressive white women that have been out and about for decades at this point, they have hated them this entire time. So them seeing that woman being dragged out, lets them know that, hey, we are getting back to our roots. Yeah. Their way of being and their culture is lay down, spread your legs, and take it. Take it. That is what their culture is all about. White women have never had a voice. Their oppressor has always been white men. And white men has been everybody's oppressor. So if they can't stand up to their own oppressor, what makes you think they're going to stand up for anybody else? Okay? They cannot. For the life of them. Not one white woman in that building stood up and said any goddamn thing. You know why? Because they're scared. They will always be scared. They have no ounce of fight in them whatsoever. They would rather walk themselves to the chains than be drugged to them. They will lay down and take it rather than stand up and fight. And that's just the fact of the matter of it. So for any black woman or black man saying, when is it going to be enough for you? When are y'all going to stand up? They're not. And expecting them to do so is the complete opposite of what their internal is telling them to do. They will not. They never have. They never will. The women's suffrage wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for who? Ding, ding, ding. Black women. We weren't a part of it as far as the laws being changed in our favor. Oh, but we were definitely down in the trenches with them. And they wouldn't have had any of their rights if it wasn't for us. So imagine us sitting back, sitting still, resting and saying, you're on your own. They don't know how to do anything on their own. They have always and forever probably will be having the thought process of black women are going to be at the forefront or be by our side or be up under us in some way, shape, form, or fashion, because that's all we've ever known. And the fact that our resistance is to say, yeah, no, you got it. Let's see how you do on your own. Now we're seeing. Now we're seeing in 4K at that. And you're not going to see any of them get on this here internet, on this TikTok, like they have been about the entire political process, yapping and saying, oh yeah, this is because it's all been performative. You're not going to see them say anything about that white woman getting dragged, because they know the repercussions that's going to happen to them in their own lives off of this internet. They know that them saying something will put a target on their back. Them white men dragging that woman out was a message to all white women. This too can happen to you.
We get it. We get it now. Black women are your attack dogs. The way they dragged that woman out of that town hall, and all we heard was hemming and hawing. Black women resting and not getting involved is such a revolutionary act. As indicated by that woman getting dragged out of that town hall, and those white women did nothing. When black women aren't involved, y'all are permissive as hell. Y'all let that woman get dragged away to God knows where, and you did absolutely nothing. I'm glad so many of us were able to see that video. Because that was a test. That was a test. And we see what you would do in the revolution. Absolutely. You would watch as we got dragged away and assaulted. You would watch. You would sit on the sidelines and watch. You would be a spectator as black women fight for everybody's rights. A lot of y'all wait for black people to throw the first punch. And this was a great example. When black people aren't involved, you're as harmless as a guppy. From here, black women are going to continue to rest because you have not shown us that you are ready and willing. What you have shown us is when it comes down to it, you will do absolutely nothing.
When Trump won, black people said, let's sit back, let's rest. This is not our lesson to learn, it's their lesson to learn. And I want to say, I don't think they're smart enough to learn the lesson, nor do they care about the lesson. And I feel like they're very fucking complacent because they do not care. They just do not care. That woman being dragged out of that town hall says everything we need to know about how much they care as of right now. Everything that he's done hasn't upset them yet. I don't know how far he needs to go for them to care, but it doesn't seem like anything is going to move them because they don't see nothing wrong. And I truly don't understand. But that woman being dragged out and nobody stepping in to help her is crazy to me. No one stepped in front of her to prevent her from being dragged out by two men she does not know who would not identify themselves. Y'all are okay? She could be getting kidnapped right now. They could take her outside and beat her to death. I don't know. Something crazy could have happened. And no one's doing anything. Black women would have never let that you. And why are you putting your hands on a woman as two grown men? Why are you tackling this woman? Black women would have never allowed no shit like that to happen. And the white women, some of them like, who are you? Why are you doing that? Why are you touching her? And then there was other giggling, clapping. Why is the whole room clapping and this woman is being manhandled by two men? One woman sitting across from her was like, that's a Democrat for you. Bitch, what? That's a Democrat for you. That's how y'all think. And I know nothing is going to change anytime soon because not only do white people hate everybody else, they hate themselves.
This is a video for black women, black men too. Y'all hadn't seen, there was a white woman dragged out of a town hall meeting because she had disagreements, and the white woman was dragged out by white men, and all of the white people surrounding her did absolutely nothing to try to stop it. So stay y'all black asses in the house. If you want to disagree from the safety of your own home. Pull out the phone like I'm doing right now, voice your opinion, post it, put on Netflix, watch a movie, watch a game, do whatever you gotta do. Don't take y'all ass outside. Because if they didn't step up for a white woman, what do you think would have happened if a black woman would have been dragged out? I think more people would have probably got up and helped them throw her ass out of there. For the next 4 years, just sit back, stay in the house. We just seen somebody buy a full ICE outfit to go scare people at Home Depot. What's to stop people from doing the same thing as buying private security or sheriff's uniforms at town hall meetings and just escorting people out of the building? We don't know where that person would have ended up. Luckily, she's safe. But there may be groups that impersonate law enforcement and they will kidnap people. Or worse. So, stay at home, please.
I know you guys have already seen this story, so I'm just gonna line up what I think to be the facts. Private security company, huh? This lady must have done something so horrible. Nope. All she did was ask questions about reproductive rights at a town hall in 𝒃𝒃 County. Of course it's 𝒃𝒃. Does this security company look familiar to you guys at all? I'm just gonna put this here, and then leave this right next to it.
And because you're not smart enough to know that, you're just crazy people. And what we're doing right now is just pausing.
This isn't Sheriff Norris. This gentleman is assaulting me.
You out now.
This man is assaulting me.
You out now. Let's go.
This man is assaulting me. Is this your deputy? Is this your deputy? Yo, don't fucking touch us. Is he a deputy? These are deputies. Who the fuck are these men?
Hey, hey.
cooperate, it'll be 100 times better.
Yeah, that's what they say to rape victims. You fucking piece of shit. You refuse to identify yourself. Who are you? Who are you?
But the problem is this. They didn't come here to listen. They came here to interrupt.
Some updates to the extremely concerning situation with 𝒲𝒶𝓎-𝒯ℛ𝒰. She was dragged out of a town hall meeting in 𝒲𝒶𝓎 County, Idaho, for protesting Medicaid expansion repeal. She is an educator. She holds a doctorate. She is also a Democratic politician who ran for state senate. Now, Bob Owens, the person who dragged her out, is a 𝒲𝒏 County sheriff. He also threatened to pepper spray her, and he was off duty at the time, making this so illegal. And the people who he used to drag her out were a private security firm that he hired called Lear Asset Management. That organization has been barred from operating in Coeur d'Alene. She is also suing. The good news is that she has a GoFundMe that has raised, I believe, over $140,000 so far. Now, Bob Owens, the sheriff of 𝒲𝒏 County, who is gainfully employed, also collects $150,000 yearly or more in disability benefits. It is extremely important to remember that not all disabilities are visible. Now, saying that, it's just, I guess, strange that he is employed as the sheriff, serving the county and also collecting disability benefits. Can't say why so far. The most concerning part is that people were cheering when she was dragged out. So her exercising her First Amendment right to peacefully protest in a town hall meeting where people regularly voice their concerns. She admits that she was speaking out of turn, but still, it's a town hall meeting, and it's just being stepped on, and the people around her were cheering for it. 𝒲𝒏 County is a very red area, so I guess it's not surprising seeing the state of MAGA today. But yeah, I guess the main updates are that she is suing for the excessive use of force by an off-duty officer and using a private security firm to do so. That security firm is now barred from operating, at least temporarily, in 𝒲𝒏 County, or Coeur d'Alene, and Bob Owens is collecting more than $150,000 in disability benefits while being employed.
Well, let's talk about it. So, I don't know if y'all see it across y'all timelines or just across the social media and the news or whatever. What happened to the young lady who went to a Idaho? It looked like a meeting. I don't know if it was a Republican meeting. I don't know if it was a general town hall for the community, but she was dragged out. She was dragged out of that meeting, literally, for just asking questions. And I'm gonna be honest with you, as we all should, be pushing back on the narrative that's being spewed out here across this country. But I want to say this to my women, that proved to us, black women, at 92%, on why we feel that y'all are very performative, and also why we know that y'all not true allies and y'all only in it for yourself. Because that was a lady, and she was forcibly removed, dragged out. They literally drug her out. Like, the sheriff, was off duty. He wasn't even in his uniform. And him and some other individuals was literally pulling that lady out by her hands, literally dragging her. But yet I saw other women laughing, clapping, telling me to move out. And y'all wonder why black women do not want to do anything with y'all. Because if it was a black woman and it was other black women that was in there, and when we saw that them people was dragging her out, baby, just know it would have been a tussle up in there. Because one thing about black women, we stick together, but we would never allow anybody
to disrespect another woman, let alone drag her out of a place like that. No, we don't do that. We don't do that. So that's showing me that y'all don't even support y'all own, but yet y'all want us to join forces with y'all. No, we resting, and we resting for good reason, because that video showing us how y'all allowed that lady to be dragged out that form, and she didn't do anything wrong, but just answering questions shows us all we need to know.
If you look like me, you probably always thought Black History Month, oh, that's not for me. This is for everybody who is Black, who wants to appreciate their history and remember heroes and everything. But nah, it's always been for us. Okay, it's all those things too. But it's us white people who didn't learn this stuff. We didn't learn so much. Our history classes were so whitewashed. But now we've had that female doctor getting picked up, assaulted and arrested down in Idaho over there just for speaking up at a town hall. If we'd been paying attention more in these Februaries and learning our Black history, how we've treated people, how our government has treated Black people, then this wouldn't be so surprising. But right now we're all outraged. How could this happen in America? It happened, and it's been happening. It's been happening since the inception of this country, ever since European ancestors showed up here. I'm just saying, Black History Month is for us to learn what our ancestors did, what this country did to people that they marginalized, and then realizing, oh wow, so we still got a little more time left to dig deep in our history and be able to prepare ourselves, and that you can go a little bit more prepared into your next town hall meeting too.
The reason why no one stepped in to help that white woman who was dragged out of that town hall pretty violently is because it's not just people of color that white women don't care about. White women don't care about other white women. Voyeurism and the iPhoneification of people suffering is already a problem, no matter who you are. But most white people know this to be true, and especially white women. They'll throw you under the bus, especially for a man, for anything. White women don't look at other white women as allies or people that should be defended. They look at them as competition to their husband or boyfriend or job or whatever. Hope that helped.